Hmm. And you're a natural. Listen, you are gorgeous. You are a natural. Like, you
That.
have not only beautiful on the outside, you are beautiful on the inside. And I think that is something that should be encouraging to people just listening to your testimony and how you became like, because you are doing it. Like, you are, I
Thank
know I'm
you.
gonna see you on billboards everywhere. One of
Period.
these days, I'm gonna walk, be driving down the street. Like,
I know that's
that's
like my
Morgan.
big goal right now.
Yes, that is Morgan Elizabeth. Open a magazine and see you in Essence. But
Yeah.
it all started from just that one little step that you took. And it was stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing something. And I think that's where people struggle. And that's why people sometimes just stay stuck at a
Yeah.
certain level because they don't want to do the uncomfortable thing. They don't want to look, silly, or they don't
Mhm.
want somebody to say no, or people laugh at them, or anything like that. So I'm so glad that you said that. Like, it wasn't like this is something you trained for, you prepared for. You just took a chance. You took a risk. You stepped out there on faith, and look what
Literally.
happened.
And I think that's the biggest thing, honestly, that people could probably take away from it is what you said about like just stepping out in faith. Like, don't be discouraged by what things seem like. Like, assumptions honestly kind of have to go out the window when it comes to you just like doing what you love or trying something new and taking a new direction in life. Because if I would have went by assumption, I would have never tried. I'd have been like,
Hmm.
the show is this weekend. They've been practicing for months. Like, there's no way they're gonna add me. I missed it. Like, I missed the casting. It's over.
Hmm.
But and I was like, well, it never hurts to ask. Like, you just have to assume. If anything, if you're going to assume, you have to assume positive intent. Assume that it's gonna work in your favor.
Right.
Don't assume the worst. And if you start to assume the worst, like, you got to fight it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to do the opposite or whatever that worst is telling you. Because the truth is that sometimes, like, the most unlikely situations are the ones that breed the most benefits and the most growth. So it's
Hmm.
you have to kind of like take those chances. And even what you were saying about people being afraid of, messing up or not looking good, like, that's another thing. If you want to be successful in life, like, the biggest thing is you have to not care if you look stupid because
Right.
you like when I first started modeling, I looked a mess. Like if you saw me in those practices, like they was trying to get me together. I was looking awkward. I was all stiff. I'm like 10-man walking. Like it's not popping. But it's like because I wasn't afraid to look stupid in front of everyone and I just kept trying my best and I just kept walking no matter how I looked. I literally got better because the only thing that can get you better is time, is practice, and any
Hmm.
starting anything new, you're likely going to look a little ridiculous. Like
Hmm.
at the show, I accidentally flashed my underwear to the crowd because there was a slit in my dress, and I
Oh
was trying to
no.
be cute and like I tried to pull like the end of the dress to do a cute little like wave thing, but then I
You
pulled it too hard.
flash the goods. Oh no.
I flashed my panties. Like luckily the panties covered everything, but I flashed my panties. And there was one of my walks I had a little mini uh kind of trip on like wasn't super noticeable, but it happened. And the point is you got to keep going. Like I could have
That's
gave up
right.
after that. I could have been like, wow, like I'm embarrassing myself and I look a little off, like I give up. But I just was like, okay, well, time to practice more. That means I must need to get, back in the lab. And I put my heels on. I would wear them for like literally 5 hours or more straight every day until my feet blistered, until I felt like my walk was good enough. And then I was like, all right, now that I can walk, I'll go easier on myself. So sometimes you got to go for it.
You
Like,
got to go for
go
it.
all out and have fun with the experience because that's the best way to not be intimidated by looking stupid. You just have to have so much fun that like that part of the process is interesting too. You know what I mean? Because looking
Yeah.
stupid, it is kind of funny. It's kind of hilarious, like, and it's kind of cute. Like it's like, oh, we're so human. Like,
Yeah.
and really, it just really shows that you're being one with everything. Like you can't be great at everything. And honestly, I don't want to be great at everything.
Right.
Like life interesting and keeps it motivating that there's always something new to strive for. There's always something new that I can achieve or accomplish or learn about.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, you gotta, let mistakes are the biggest teacher. Like, you make mistakes, But you
Mm-hmm.
don't stay there. You don't wallow in it. You're like, okay, let me see. Made a left turn. How do
Right.
I get back on the right road?
Yeah.
And let's keep this train moving forward. You can't go backwards. So
Yeah.
yeah, mistakes are good. They happen. I understand it completely. I mean, it took me forever. I think I started this show last year during the, not even last year. It's been so long since
Mm.
whenever the pandemic first started. It's been
Okay. Yeah.
forever. And I stopped because I mean, and it was one little thing, like one guest canceled, and that discouraged me. And like it's
Yeah.
been a whole year later,
Yeah.
but people were asking, and I was just like, well, I don't even feel like doing it anymore because this isn't going the way I thought it should go. But you just got to keep on going, just keep pushing, keep moving forward. And know, again, like we keep saying, like what's for you is for you, and it's gonna work out. And
Yeah.
you take the lessons, take the mistakes, learn from them, and do better. But I am so proud of you. I mean, I have a picture of you and Dakota in my
Oh.
photo album because for those who don't know, I have known Morgan for a very, very long time. This is such a joy talking to you and just watching you grow into a beautiful, positive light. You are an amazing woman, and I know that you are doing things also in the community. Are there a few things you want to talk about? Let us know, like what's on your heart. What are the community activities or outreach things that's really on your heart?
Well, honestly, always nature is always a big thing for me. Anybody who knows me knows I'm kind of like a recycle bug. Like I'm that person who's annoyingly reminding everyone to recycle. Like, so, I kind of got more. I mean, I've always kind of been into this, like randomly, like doing, like neighborhood cleanups. But I kind of got inspired again when my brother was in town and he was looking at the bayou and noticing there was a lot of trash in it. And it kind of made us really sad because we're like, wow, like this is our beautiful place of peace.
Mm-hmm.
And it's trash. Like they were putting so much stuff. I'm screaming at my dad in the comments saying so true because he knows how recycling. But literally like we were just so sad to see all the trash and everything. And we kind of went out there and started doing a neighborhood cleanup. I put it online if anybody wanted to come join. And there was actually another time I did that as well. And I noticed that a lot of people had the same interest. A lot of people were like, hey, I can't make it today, but I would love to do this another time if you keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that's been on my heart big lately is wanting to organize just more of those neighborhood cleanups together. Because I think it's important to make, like outreach like a part of your daily life or like, you know, just a part of your life in general. Not that
Yes.
that you can make it out, but like if I see trash on the ground when I'm walking the dog, a lot of times I'll just pick it up, and then just throw it away when I get to my house because people leave like beer bottles and cans and random things around, and it's like it doesn't really hurt sometimes to just do that little thing that can help. Um, so that's
I'm
something.
so glad you said that. Yeah, I'm so glad you said that. I was talking to my brother a few weeks ago about like just being able to like you don't need a big organization. You need one person. For
Yeah.
example, I live in LA. There are homeless people everywhere. What I started doing is my part. Like, okay, I've got
Right.
leftovers. I'm just gonna walk outside and give this to the person that's the sitting right there on the corner. I got clothes I can't fit. Like instead of taking it down to the shelter, there's a person that I'm literally stepping over that here, do what you will with these things. Like one
Literally.
person can make a difference. Like you don't need to be a part of a huge organization. All you have to do is have the heart to help people
Exactly.
and to help the community and use your voice and get others in. But when I told him that, he was like, I didn't think about that. Because he was talking about how he's so busy with work and, well, I donate money. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, you're one person in a house. Like when you have leftovers, just give them to somebody instead of tossing it.
Because unfortunately, when you donate, it's like, depending on, a lot of them don't even really give the money to the people like that. Some of them steal it, like we're not lying.
Yeah.
Or so some of them just, they have like, it's set up in a way where they make
allocated to where they want to allocate it to.
That's true as well. Yep. Like some people, it's like, oh, we're going to put money towards this thing, but maybe that's not really what you were trying to do, you know, or
Mm-hmm.
they have to pay their workers as well as, you know, put money out to the community. So it's like you could give $10 to an organization and maybe only $5 of that actually reaches somebody, or you could give a whole $10 to somebody directly. And I also think like doing personal outreach is like more
It's
obviously
more
personal.
fulfilling.
Yeah, like it's like they get to see your face, interact with you. Like that feels a lot closer than someone just like giving you money through a screen. You don't even, you know where it came from. Not that you have to know, but it can feel
Right.
good. You know, sometimes when people are going through it, just seeing your face could put a smile to them as well and make them feel empowered, or speaking to them. Like honestly, my parents are somebody, or you know, well, two people. I'm talking about them like they're one entity because they pretty much are,
They are. They
you
are.
know. But they definitely inspired me, even in that lifestyle of just helping people, because I noticed they do that. Like when we would go out places, they're the same way, where they would just give food. Even when we went on a trip recently to San Antonio, I was really inspired by the way that there was a guy on the street and he was asking, you know, for money. And when he was asking for money, my parents were like, oh, we're actually going to eat, like we can bring you back some food. And so at first he's kind of like trying to figure out like, oh, what exactly are you gonna get? And we're like,
Yeah.
we got you, like we're gonna come back, we don't we promise, like, you know. So we go to get the food and we were like sitting down to eat really quick, and then we were gonna go back. And like it's funny because my parents were just saying like, hey, like let's make sure we're quick so we can take back his stuff to him. And we're like, cool. And then we actually see him walk past the restaurant where we're, you know, out right outside in the area eating our food real quick. And then we're just like, oh my god, my dad's like, I think that's him right there. And so they give him the food, and then turns out he's like, you know, going through things as well. And I think also had like an injury that they were able to sit there and talk to him about and pray for him and everything. And he really needed that prayer. And it looked like it really like affected him to have that moment of being able to be recognized, be talked to, and have that prayer put over him for something that was really ailing him. And it's like those kind of things you can't get through a screen, you know,
Right.
really to affect somebody. And so like it's just the little things like that that inspired me to want to like, oh, I want to help people. Like, and I'll do the same thing that you were talking about. It's like when I have leftovers and I'm like around, a lot of times I'll take them and just give them to somebody. Things like that I realize make the biggest difference. Like, and you might not even realize. Sometimes you just say hi to somebody on the street who's home,
Mm-hmm.
like that made their whole day. They're like, people walk over me all day and you acknowledge me like the person I am. Like outreach can be so many things. It's not always one thing, you know. It doesn't have to just be giving them money or just buying food.
Right.
Praying for people, talking to people,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even online for our communities, you know, just giving resources like what you're doing. I feel like that's community outreach, that you're having these resources that people can tap into to better themselves, or to heal, to learn, or to be inspired from others, you know. And like even sharing, like when we just share our knowledge randomly on our,
Right.
you know, that's a thing that is a form of outreach. Like we're helping each other, we're really being a community and being a tribe when we like put our piece in and give what we can to others, because it's like that giving that allows us to really grow with one another, because we can now take the things we need from each other, you know, and make it an exchange, you know.
Yeah, no, you are right. In community, I mean, I don't want to get into a whole preaching thing, but yeah, I mean, unity. That's that's
Yeah,
that's the key word. And like we're all in this together. And we
definitely.
can't just be in our silos and saying, "Oh, well, I don't know, that's their problem. Like they're a bum on the street." But you don't know someone's situation. I think if anything, like COVID, and not just COVID, I have to say for me, like my past experiences these past like 5, 6 years has put
Hmm.
me in a position to really look and see like one step away from being a person on the street. Like, but for the grace of God, like I could be homeless. I could be on a corner. I could be, under a bridge. And so I am grateful, but that goes back to what we were talking about, that attitude of gratitude. Like I am grateful every day. And so I have to show, and I think like when we come from church background, we feel like it has to look a certain way. But for me, I'm really about like being intentional, and not only just being intentional, but not doing things just to go through the motions. And sometimes
Yeah.
it may not look like you want it to look, but you just have to get out there and you have to do it, and you have to help people. You have to talk to people. You have to, it's like, I am a minister, regardless of if I am in a church or in a pulpit. My life is a ministry. And so what I do has to reflect, you know, who I serve every day. That's my little 2 cents.
I love that. And I agree with it.
Okay. You know, we could talk all day. I love this conversation, but for those who want to keep on following you, those who want to see what do you have coming up next? I know you were in a fashion show just a few weeks ago. I'm sure you're going to be in something else. And what do you have coming up next? How can people keep in contact with you? Give us the beats.
Alrighty, well, next what I have coming up, I have a few shows coming up. I believe on the 11th I have a fashion show, and then the 15th and 17th, because we have Houston Fashion Week coming up.
Okay.
So that's the next big thing coming. And then just to keep in touch with me, honestly, Instagram's a great way to talk to me. My ad name is right on here, but it's Meet Morgan Elizabeth, MEET MORGANELISABETH. So I know that was a lot of letters, but that's great.
Okay.
Keep in contact with me. Usually, honestly, that's probably my most checked social media.
And listen, follow her stories and her reels, because they are hilarious and enlightening and just overall entertaining.
Yes, I'm very so prepared. But I post a lot of motivational quotes too. So
yes, you do.
You don't know what to expect on any given day.
Thank you so much, Morgan Elizabeth, for joining us on this episode of Melanin Vibes. Thank you, everybody who popped in. We appreciate. I hope you guys got something from this. I know I did. Like, I am super encouraged, and I can't wait to open a magazine and see you in Essence, in Vogue,
period,
in Harper's Bazaar, period. But for you guys who want to keep on staying in contact with us, you can follow me at Bohemian Bat. Go to our website, bohemianbat.com. There's a lot of community resources, therapy resources, all kinds of good stuff for you. And I will be here again next week, next Friday at 6:30 with another great guest. Until then, thank you, Morgan. And the rest of you guys, remember to embrace the journey.
Yes.
Bye.
Peace.